also federally funded. Lead Safe Westchester, which is federally funded. Housing Monitoring, and the Home Investment Partnership Program, which is also a federally funded program. So the Emergency Solutions Grant, known as ESG, focuses on assisting people to regain stability in permanent housing after they experience a housing crisis or homelessness. The income limits are 30% of Westchester County's AMI. Sorry. Is this what I'm sharing? Oh, I'm sorry. I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. Give me 1 second. Let me back out of this. Sorry, everybody.
Stop sharing. Now. Yeah, go to share now. On screen 2. Share, and then start your presentation again. Now you'll see that one.
Okay. Are we on the right screen? Yeah. So sorry about that. So the Emergency Solution Grant focuses on people to regain stability and housing crisis or experience homelessness. The income limit is 30% of the AMI. There are 5 components that ESG allows us to fund, which is street outreach, rapid rehousing, homelessness prevention, emergency shelter, and homelessness management system, where everyone must be entered in order to be referred to be part of the ESG program. Westchester County currently runs the program called Turning the Corner that consists of 3 components of ESG: homelessness prevention, rapid rehousing, and emergency shelter. Unfortunately, our funding cannot be used in the city of Yonkers as they receive their own emergency solutions grant funding, so we cover everywhere outside of Yonkers. For homelessness prevention, you must meet eligibility of 1, 2, and 3. So you have to be at risk of homelessness with a pending eviction of 21 days, income at or below 30% AMI, and lack sufficient resources or support networks to immediately prevent you from moving into an emergency shelter. Homelessness prevention can fund up to 6 months of rental arrears, utility arrears, and the first month's rent. 3 organizations that are currently running our homelessness prevention programs right now is Human Development Services of Westchester, which covers rental arrears, Cluster, which covers rental arrears, utility arrears, and first month's rent, and Choice of New Rochelle, which can cover rental arrears, utility arrears, and first month's rent. Our second program through ESG is Rapid Rehousing. Rapid rehousing is for people who are currently homeless, not at risk of homelessness. And rapid rehousing can assist with first month's rent, security deposits, rental application fees, and moving costs. To be eligible, again, they have to be experiencing homelessness. Lifting Up Westchester is the organization that is currently running the rapid rehousing program. They can cover rental assistance fees, security deposits, first month's rent, and moving costs. And for this program, if a person is homeless, they are able to move into the city of Yonkers. They just can't be homeless from the city of Yonkers. Our third one is emergency shelter. So shelter funds can be used for the cost of providing essential services to homeless families in emergency shelters or renovating buildings for the shelters for homeless families and individuals. Lifting Up Westchester is a recipient of one of our grants. They received this year through Emergency Solutions Grant a new shelter van and computer stations for both shelter sites. Caring for the Hungry and Homeless of Peekskill, known as CHOP. They received funding to have a case manager for non-traditional hours and equipment and supplies for day-to-day operations. And the Providence House has a complete shelter renovation, which is currently under the way. This is Lifting Up Westchester's computer labs. So one is in the women's shelter and one is in the men's shelter. This is where they're able to look for jobs and school trainings and whatever else they want to. This is their shelter van, which helps transport to appointments, work, picking people on the street, moving people from shelter to homes. And this is the flyers that I can share if you don't have them already. As soon as this is done, we can put them in the chat. And that is it for the Emergency Solutions Program. If anybody wants to ask any questions about this program first, feel free to ask now, or we can save all the questions for the end. It's totally up to you. Okay. Move on to home seeker. John? Yep. You're muted.
Thank you. So HomeSeeker is Westchester County's new website for marketing affordable housing. Affordable housing, as many of you are probably familiar, is housing for which the occupants are paying no more than 30% of their gross income for all of housing related costs and utilities. And generally between 30 and 80% of the area median income is the area that we're, the market that we're trying to market to. Westchester County provides assistance to for-profit and not-for-profit developers to create affordable housing. And that's what HomeSeeker aims to share the information about, those developers that have done some new developments. These developments are privately owned and operated, obviously, and through HomeSeeker, an applicant can find and apply for affordable housing and rental opportunities for purchase or for sale. For rent. And the website is accessed through https homeseeker.westchestergov.com.
Do you want me to click the website now, or?
Isn't there one more page, I think? In order to register, you create an account using a unique username and an email address. You check your email for notifications. So once you have started down the process, and I'll demonstrate this, the site itself in a minute or so. Once you complete your profile, you'll be able to receive emails and notifications of any new listings that become available that are, affordable housing opportunities in Westchester County. You will get that information automatically sent to you. You'll be able to quickly apply for affordable housing using the profile that you create, but you don't necessarily have to create a profile to use the HomeSeeker website to look up and see if there are any properties that you might be interested in. The applications may be for properties where there's a housing lottery or which will be run, or where a waitlist opportunity exists. A housing lottery is generally a new opportunity where a property is being marketed for the first time, and there are opportunities for people. So there's a date window that we give people to apply by, and then we randomly select. People are randomly assigned a lottery number if they have their application in by a certain period. The property manager reviews the applications, confirms documentation, and helps determine eligibility. And keep in mind that generally there's a good period of time between applying and when the property manager would ask for documentation. So that information should be updated as most recently as possible when you speak to a property manager. All right. And so the benefit of HomeSeeker is that if you sign up for HomeSeeker, you will receive up-to-date information about properties that Westchester County has funded. There is no fee for using HomeSeeker, and this program or this version of HomeSeeker began in May. We launched it in May, and we are working with the property managers and not-for-profits, Housing Action Council, and Westchester Residential Opportunities to make this as an efficient process as possible. And we're trying to pull as much information from other areas. So there may be opportunities in that the county has not necessarily funded, but we're trying to use HomeSeeker to be a site where people can come and find out additional information about affordable housing, really throughout Westchester, even if Westchester County doesn't fund it. We're exploring that, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. Is there one more page, Amy? Okay, good. Okay, so I'll share the screen now of the site. Can you guys see?
Yes.
Can you see my HomeSeeker homepage?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. So if you take a look at this, this is the landing page for HomeSeeker. Over here, where you can see my mouse, there are listings about frequently asked questions and resources and links. This would be the page that you would land on if you were you did not register or log in. You'd be able to come here and see. Obviously, we'll have a changing video opportunity for a video message, but also an explanation of how HomeSeeker works. So you register, complete your profile, apply for affordable housing. You make individual selections, the selection for the lottery, and the potential to appear or apply for a wait list. So this is just the general information, but if you go up here, you'll be able to see individual listings, again, without registering or logging in. So as a sample, the Alexan this is essentially the information. The listing is presented. It gives you an idea of what the AMI is, the studio, the unit size, the number of units that are in that unit size, monthly rent, household size, and maximum income by size. And it gives a sample of photos, address, a brochure, a link to a brochure in English or Spanish, and then an how to apply at the bottom. But if you see up here, it says apply for wait list. So if you create a profile, so if I go back to the beginning and I go to login and I do log in and I create a profile, or I'm sorry, go to register and create a username and an email with an email address, it'll ask me information about setting up a registration. You fill out the information, you'll get an email to your email account, and you'll have to confirm that you did intend to sign up for this. And then once you do that, you come over here and put in your username and your password, and you'll log in. And if you look up here, you have notifications, profile, household information, and your dashboard. So if you apply to anything, it'll appear on your dashboard. So for example, here's my profile. The HomeSeeker asks for information from you. It will ask you for your name, your date of birth, social security number, and various other information. Have you ever lived in Westchester? Do you currently work in Westchester? Just to get some basic demographic information for us. It also asks for your address. It will confirm. We have a piece of software set up so that it will confirm that you're giving an address that's an accurate address, just and an email address. Income, it asks general information about your income, and it allows you to reset your password. So, but if you look at the listing, say for example, I wanted to apply to the Alexan, I've already applied here. You can see that I've already applied. It says view submission. And sorry, and this is the application that I submitted. It allows me to set up a household. So for example, when I created my profile, I included my spouse and a child. I gave background information about my retirement. It asks whether or not I need a voucher. I have a voucher, or I receive rental assistance, or have a live-in aid. After each application, when you go do an individual listing, it will, and you submit an application, it will ask you if you want to confirm your household information. The about information is, as we landed on essentially the first page, the frequently asked question, what is home seeker, gives an outline of the benefit of creating a household profile. Is there a fee? Many of the things that we've already discussed, but this provides everything in a centralized location for people to find online. One of the questions that we have received is, can people apply still via paper? A hard copy application. And yes, you may still do that. There's an opportunity for you to print out a paper copy and submit it to the property manager. Resources and links gives background information, some other links to some other areas that provide housing information, tenants' rights guides, the Westchester County 2025 income and rent limits, which basically shows the median income, our rent guidelines for the median income. So we're trying to make this a sort of a concise way for people to learn about affordable housing in Westchester County, especially properties that are funded by Westchester County. And then the benefit is, but once you've set up a profile, you can easily apply to any opportunities that may arise on this site. You can, so for example, if I wanted to apply to the Atwood, I can apply for the wait list. I've already set up my profile. I can apply for the wait list. And it asks me to confirm everything in my profile before I go on, just to make sure none of my family situation has changed or my income. And then it's as simple as, toggling these. None. How did you hear about this? My employer. And then I would just hit the review application and we'd be ready to go. Sorry, I need to hit a select a bedroom count. So I would go to here, it would say review application, and then I'm all ready to send my application in. It's as simple as that. So that's the target, and the goal is to try and get people, make it as easy as possible for people to apply for the affordable housing opportunities that we do have. Yes. Somebody's got their hand up.
John, there's also questions in the chat box. Can you see them?
Okay. I will take a look in a second.
So I can tell you, the first question says, why is it asking about race?
That is information that HUD requires us to ask for.
And the second question says, what if your concern is that you do not yet make enough money to qualify?
I think you should apply regardless. First of all, you never know when they go through the qualification process what the the property manager will, you don't know. There are, I would encourage you to apply no matter what. And second of all, you never know what the property manager information, what they'll look at specifically to make sure, check your income. And second of all, you don't know if your income will either move up or move down during the period that from when you apply to when they're doing the qualification. So always apply.
Hello.
Yes.
So it's kind of three questions. As a former realtor, there are questions that we're asking here that you can't ask when you are looking for a house on your own or apartment on your own. Like they're not supposed to ask about race or source of income. So how do we get away with doing that? And then who is the keeper of all this information? Who has access to it?
Who has access to it? There are administrators that have access to it for the county, and a limited amount of administrators. I don't have a list of the names in front of me, but
Okay, but then now the other question about asking about somebody's race, asking about the source of income, because basically it's kind of like an application for social services with some of the information that's being asked. And this, you couldn't ask this as a realtor or a homeowner of somebody that's looking to rent from you. So I'm just trying to understand how that works here.
Well, this is an application. So you're putting in information for an application, and then once a property becomes available, if you're interested in that property, you click the button and then you join the wait list. Whether it's a wait list that's coming, that a property that's being built, or whether it is a property that the wait list has already happened, the lottery has already happened, and the wait list is now being formed.
The organizations that that supply the funding require that we collect the data.
But okay, I'm not understanding. I'm missing because you can't do that outside of Westchester County government and this organization, this program. So I guess I'm not understanding the connection how we're able to with Homesteader, but like somebody else selling a property or renting could participate with this information and the data.
John, this is Terry.
Sure.
Can you hear me? I'm going to jump in. I'm the director of the housing department. So the information as far as the source of income, it's an income sensitive program. So, and these are affordable units. So it does not disqualify you in any way that where the income is coming from, but your income needs to be counted when you apply. So if your income is too high, you don't qualify. If your income is too low, you may not qualify either, depending upon what the circumstances are. So for instance, if somebody is qualifying someone for affordable housing and they see that you have a subsidy to assist you with the rent, then that is not a reason. If your income is only, let's say $12,000 a year, and then you have a rental subsidy, that rental subsidy, if you, between that rental subsidy and your income, have the ability to pay for that rent, then that is not a reason to disqualify you, right? So it's asking the information so your qualification can be determined as far as that goes. Any affordable housing program, if there's a housing subsidy, that is not something that they can say, nope, you have a housing subsidy, you can't apply and you will not qualify. It's there to assist when they go through the qualification process, and so that's kind of where that's happening as far as that goes. So it's not disqualifying you. It doesn't come into play. So if you're receiving any kind of subsidy, or let's say you're getting gift funds from a family member, and that's helping you to pay your housing payment. It's considered income, but you need to be able to prove it. And that could also, if you're getting so much gift, which I know generally wouldn't happen, it could throw you over the threshold to qualify. So, I mean, again, remember, it is affordable housing. It's a little bit different than on the, the real estate market. And as far as collecting the race and ethnicity and things like that, that is helpful. First off, it's not for purposes of, it's to make sure we're reaching everybody that we're supposed to reach. It's hard to know if you're reaching everyone unless you know some of that information. So it is there as a tool. It's not something that is used in a negative way. It's used to make sure that everything is being done appropriately. So it's even like with when you do a mortgage application, they do ask that information on a mortgage application, but it's used so they can track and make sure they're not discriminating and all the other things that go along with that. So it's not used in that way. So I hope that's a little bit clearer.
I mean, I'm hearing it. I don't understand. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But again, it's affordable housing. It's making sure that everybody is being reached, and nobody's being left out. And how do you know what you're doing unless you know some of that information? So that's basically where it comes in. And then again, with the housing subsidies and that source of income, it is an income sensitive program. When you work in the real estate, if you have the ability and you can prove that you paid something, in the past, that's not an issue. But when we have an income sensitive program, I'm just going to give you an example. If let's say you pay $2,000 a month, right? And your income is not enough to cover that, then it's going to be questioned. Where is that income coming from? Are you over the income? If you're not over the income, so it's part of the qualification process. It doesn't disqualify you, but and also the subsidy that you get for rental income actually doesn't get counted in your income. What it's really doing is just proving you might have the ability to pay that rent level that's there. So if the payment standard is enough, goes to $2,000, and you're paying only $300, that $1,700 is not going towards your income, but it is proving that you have the ability to pay that rent. So anyway, so there's different things. It's a little different than the market rate kind of stuff on how you look at it. So again, hopefully that made a little bit of a difference.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
John, there's another question. It says, are some of the units accessible for people living with mobility and other sensory disabilities?
So there on the listing, there may be properties that are set up for, people with mobility issues, and that will be noted on the listing on the top right-hand side. It's really building dependent.
John, I have a question. This is Tiffany Nozil, City of Mount Vernon Urban Renewal Department.
Sure.
I just wanted to know, so I had that same question as well, and I just wanted to know, so would you have to upload any documentation in regards to disability to this website?
So those documents would be provided to the property manager at qualification. They would not be uploaded here. You would note, if there was a situation that applied to you, you could note it, in the application, but you would not necessarily have to supply the documentation on this site at the moment. We're working to try and figure out the most effective ways to use HomeSeeker. But right now it's for collecting interest more than anything else.
It becomes a little bit.
It's not an application yet.
Right. It comes a little bit all of the properties that are built or on this site are owned by various different developers and owners. And there's this, the county is not doing the qualification. That's to a different agency who's doing that, depending upon what that developer and decides to use to do the qualification and do that. As the county, anything that has county funding in it will be monitored to make sure that they're following the appropriate guidelines as far as once the lottery is run, that they're following, they go the first person, do they qualify? Yes, they do, and make sure they have the opportunity. And then year after year, units get inspected, units to make sure that the housing quality standards are there, and also that people still meet the guidelines. And if, let's say, someone's income exceeds the limits, each property has a different way to manage how you handle somebody who's over the income. Not all, but generally, it's either the rent that's there, the market rent, or 30% of your income if your income goes over the 30%. So if it's if your income is much stronger than, let's say, when you started, the whole purpose is not to have you pay, a much lower rent. It's supposed to be consistent with what 30% of your rent income is. So again, through monitoring and things like that, we make sure things are being properly managed by whoever is managing it, the property management company. So hopefully to give you a little bit more impact. So this is really just a way to collect the initial applications. Once the information is collected and it's determined who is going to do the qualification, then the information is transferred to the management company who's doing that, or the agency who it is, and then they go from there. They may actually ask for a different information. Everything that you're putting in this application, because we are not collecting any documents, has to be verified at some point. And so at that time later down the road, there would be some paperwork that you would have to provide to make sure you're within the limits. So.
Okay. Thank you very much, Terry. And I just had a secondary question. Does this include senior housing, or are some of the units designated for seniors as well? Is there an indication on the portal?
Yes, there is an indication on the portal for 62 and above and 55 and above.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'll stop sharing now. And I guess, Amy, does anybody else have any question? I thought I heard somebody.
I do. I'm sorry, Kimberly again. This one is about inventory. So what about location? So I don't see a lot of properties in northern Westchester. And are the properties only apartment buildings? Are there going to be home rentals or cottages, single family dwelling?
There will, so if a property becomes available that the county that was originally involved had county funding involved, they could be on here, put back on here as an opportunity. Right now, a lot of what is on here are newer properties that have, recently been completed. But if you see down here, Valley Cottage in Katona, so this is an application that somebody could put in. There was a lottery. They were previously occupied, and somebody could put in an application because there was a vacancy here. So we will have whatever properties become available that are both either new or that where a wait list is being collected.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to add to that, John. Also, affordable housing takes quite some time to actually get to this point and put it on. Again, we launched this site in May, and again, we're not New York City, who has tens of thousands of units. We have much less units. So some of the properties, like for instance, if there was a home ownership opportunity that was done 10 years ago and somebody decides to sell, there are restrictions against those properties that require that person to sell it back to somebody who is meets the income qualifications. They can get a profit, but it's going to be based on your formula on how much they can get. But the point of that resale, it has to continue to be affordable to generally 80% of the AMI or less, people or households who are making less than that amount. So there's a continued kind of affordability requirement, and they are, all around the county. These are the newer ones. I mean, there recently was something up in Croton, again, but it happened prior to us launching this. And so again, you just don't know where and when things are going to happen. And that's why it's important to either touch base or get your profile and register. So when those opportunities come up, wherever they are, because they're happening, all around, then they're here. The other thing to this too, again, because it has just been put on, as not all affordable housing has county involvement, and we're going to try to capture some of that other information so it can direct you to other places. There's also on our, I think it's in the resources and links or the FAQs, there's other links where you might be able to look at to try to get other information from other municipalities, that sort of thing. So it's not a total inclusive of everything, all the affordable housing, but it is a start. And as it builds from 1 year to the next, we hope it becomes a more and more go-to tool. And we're going to get hopefully other things that may not have county funding in it also on here, so we can help to disseminate that information so everybody knows about affordable housing opportunities out there.
Yeah, there are a good number of municipalities that have affordable housing that is, an allowance in zoning. So a developer is allowed to build a larger or bigger, more dense property if they allow for a certain amount of affordable housing. And so a lot of municipalities a number of municipalities may have other affordable housing options, which would be great to try and capture here. All right.
Okay, you're gonna stop sharing?
Yes.
I'm going to attempt to reshare, so hold on one second. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
And it's one screen.
Yes.
Okay. So we are going to move on to CDBG, which is the Community Development Block Grant. This is a federally funded grant through HUD, Housing and Urban Development. In 2025, there are 31 consortium let me go back for a second. Community Development Block Grant is for the consortium communities in Westchester County, which does not capture all of Westchester, but there are 31 in 2025 who may apply for CDBG funds, which nonprofits are included in this, as long as the residents in one of the 31 consortium communities are being served. There's approximately 111 projects that were funded through CDBG from 2019 to 2024. Applications for this happen on a 3-year cycle, and the next application period is 2027, which will be for 2028, 2029, and 2030, which seems like an eternity, but it's really not. This program must benefit low to moderate income people, or in an area where at least 51% of the residents are low to moderate income. It supports community development to build stronger and more resilient communities, and activities may address the following needs: infrastructure, economic development projects, public facility installation, community centers, housing rehabilitation, public services, clearance and acquisition, micro enterprise assistance, code enforcement, and homeowner assistance. Examples of some of the past projects that we have done from 2019 to 24 is the replacement of sewer lines, sidewalk repairs, water main replacements, new elevators in senior centers, the purchase of handicap vans and senior buses, design and installation of new playgrounds, ADA accessibility beach ramps, mats, and a bathhouse, fellowship hall projects, stair replacement, and including access to the bus stop, and a mobile food pantry. So Meals on Main Street, this is my absolute favorite CDBG project that I was involved in. Meals on Main Street also, well, Caritas of Portchester, also known as Meals on Main Street, was assisted with funding through their mobile food pantry hub. So this organization brings food to people. They go to schools, they go to community centers, they go to parking lots, they are on streets. They provide fresh produce and vegetables. They visit, they go to locations where there's lack of marketplaces or supermarkets and high population of food insecurity. They partner with local markets and grocery stores, and they do a food recovery program. They have an industrial kitchen currently right now in Portchester where they prepare hot meals for delivery every day. Meals on Main Street travels throughout Westchester. I believe they also now go outside of Westchester. And the concept of the food truck began during COVID when people were not really able to get out. So they brought food to the people. And I believe they now have 4, maybe 5 trucks, and they do about 5 to 6 stops per day. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite project. And every time we visit them, wherever they are, everybody loves it. Of course, it's free to the community, the food. And you get to shop and pick your own. So you're not getting handed a bag. You don't know what's in the bag. You pick what you want and you move along.
What are the towns that goes to?
I'm pretty sure most of Westchester, I can send the link to their website. Actually, I'll put the link to their website in the chat.
Because I've never seen it in the northern part. So,
Well, okay. So actually, we're currently working with them for a project right now, where they are opening a community kitchen in northern Westchester. I'm not going to say where. This is their project, not mine, but it's not done yet. And they will be servicing northern Westchester a lot more than they do now. But it's in the works.
great, because it's needed. Yorktown,
Yes.
Peekskill, Mount Kisco, definitely needed.
They do go up there. They just might not frequent as much as they are down. And if you have anywhere where you request them to go, I'm sure that if there's a big enough demand, they would make their way up. Okay, so our next project is Fellowship Hall. Fellowship Hall is in Bedford. It's a senior residential complex. They were assisted with funds for site improvement with the goal of protecting the health and safety of its elderly residents while continuing to provide affordable housing to low and moderate income residents. The project included the replacement of sidewalks, curbs, and handrails, safer and more accessible pathway to get to the bus stop, and common areas like the laundry facility, which is this area over here. The planning department team worked with the residents to design how this was going to go about. They, saw it was needed because they went into the community, and the community is the one who put in the suggestions. And this is the access to the bus stop. So you can see that before there was really no safe way to get there. It was kind of just grass, and then they put in the whole path. And this was the handrails that had stairs. They included a ramp, and just a little, less cracks and holes, and it just became safer. The next project, well, one of the other projects was the Village of Ossining sidewalks improvements. The Village of Ossining was assisted with funds towards sidewalks. They were used to replace deteriorated sidewalks and curbs in the village along James Street and William Street. The sidewalks were deteriorated. They posed tripping hazards to pedestrians. They prevented access to those who needed to get by with disabilities and with wheelchairs. Replacing sidewalks removed these hazards and improved the pedestrian access to the downtown area. This is the Village of Tuckahoe. They received playground improvements. It was Main Street Park. The playground structures were old and outdated. They replaced the structures. The the ground, which I don't even think they use the type of, if you can see this, it's like very outdated. They did one park for 2 to 5-year-olds and one park for 5 to 12-year-olds. So it made it more inclusive for entire families. And it included new fencing, site amenities, benches, and trash cans. Town Park was also an amazing project. They were assisted with funding to remove existing non-compliant handicap ramps, replace them with accessible ramps. Once the ramps were complete, they were also funded to add beach mats to allow wheelchair accessibility onto the sand. This was the beginning of a much bigger project. They're still in the works at the park. I believe they're still finishing upgrading the bathrooms and the permit office, which is a public space, being funded by Westchester County. So this was one of the ramps onto the beach. And these are the beach mats. I do believe they have a wheelchair that you're able to take down as well. So we also run a program. Oh, well, does anybody have any questions about any CDBG before we go to lead? Okay. So we also have the Lead Safe Westchester grant, known as LSW. That is also federally funded by HUD. Lead Safe Westchester administers $4.1 million to reduce lead-based paint hazards identified in housing units of low and moderate income households in Westchester County. After the LSW work is complete, HUD requires marketing of the rental units to be offered to income eligible people at 50% AMI for renters, households for a period of at least 3 years, and that owners do not sell their units for 3 years after the completion of the Lead Safe Westchester improvements. This is an example of a new stairway that was complete through the project. And window frames, which in this picture, they weren't complete yet, but they were almost there. We also do housing monitoring in our division, which Terry touched on. So we have created about 4,500 affordable rental units and home ownership units across Westchester County. They're monitored once a year to make sure that they do remain affordable. And they are not all inspected, but a percentage of each property is inspected every year, just to make sure that the health and safety for the program participants is still up to par and, you know, everything's safe. This is one of the properties, Dayspring Common in Yonkers. It is a 6-story elevator building with free parking. It's 1 and 2 bedrooms. It comes with fully equipped kitchens, Energy Star rated appliances, LED light fixtures, water saving fixtures. There's 24-hour security, both in person and a security system with an on-site super. The building amenities include a community room, a laundry room, landscaped yards with seating areas, and the residents have full access to the recently renovated Dayspring Center, which has a youth center, job training and placement services, adult education classes, and a playground. So this is the before and after, which is pretty cool. Round Top Commons in Cortland. They are affordable housing made of 92 1 and 2 bedroom family apartments. It went from nothing to something. We also run the home investment partnership program, which is a HUD grant as well. We mainly use home for smaller developments to fill gap in funding. It requires that all developments be accessible and designed to meet ADA requirements. The county requires home units to meet universal design requirements. Home funds have been utilized to assist the rehabilitation of supportive units operated by HDSW, Human Development Services in the Village of Portchester, and rehabilitate affordable units owned by IFCA, Interfaith Communities for Action, in the Village of Ossining. And there are about 424 home units across 80 properties throughout Westchester County. This is one of our home projects. It's One Dromore Road, recently finished, located in the town of Greenberg. home funds help to fill the financial gap. 45 units. It's a 45 unit property and 100% affordable development to families located close, and it's located close to transit. This is 41 North Division. It is in Peekskill. It's in the process of being built. It's not complete yet. I am going to guess that if there's lottery, it will be on Homeseeker. John, you could jump in for that. So it's a small development receiving home funds located in the downtown area of the city of Peekskill. It was an office building and it is going to be reused into 22 units of affordable housing, and 10 of the units will be dedicated to house youth who are aging out of foster care, and they will come with supportive services. And this is all of our contract information with who runs which program, which I'm going to be sharing the slides. I'll send an email, and then you'll get, everybody that is on this distribution list will get the email of all of our slides today. So you have our names, our contact information. And that's really it. We want to thank everybody for letting us present today. I know we did a lot of information, and I'm sure there's questions. If there's questions, please feel free to email any of us or call us. We're always available.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Did anybody have any questions about any of the programs? We went through the end ones kind of quick. I'm glad you gave John all the questions today. I was on the hook on that one.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, we do have questions,
Okay.
little trivia for some of the info that Amy and John passed along. So let me go ahead and launch this. And I also wanted to remind everyone here that we are having a housing event coming up on the 24th, where you can come in and apply for some of these buildings. So let me go ahead and put that in the chat as well. And if you'd like to join us that day, we will be having food, light music, and all you have to do is just register in the link in the flyer, which I will drop in here. Give me 1 second. And of course, thank you to Amy and John for all this information and all these references and resources. It's a lot of information. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
allowing us to be here.
Yep. Do we get to answer the trivia questions too?
Yes, you should be able to see it. I'm just giving everyone a couple more minutes, and then if you guys want to, you guys can answer those questions. Can you see it on your screen? You should be able to see the questions pop up.
I don't see them. Do you see them?
Don't see them.
I received them, but I X'd out of it because I assumed
Oh, maybe I did
I
too.
would know the answers.
I probably do the same thing. I don't. I'm actually probably. I definitely probably did that.
Okay, let me go ahead. I'll read the question and then you can tell us what the answer is. Okay, so for the first question, what does ESG stand for?
Am I answering it, or do you have the answers? Like people sent them to you?
Yes, I have the answers.
Okay.
But
No,
did,
but
did you wanna, well, because they answer, it's a poll.
oh,
so
they
they're
answered
answering
already.
it
Okay,
for
that's
you.
what I was making. I didn't want to just blurt out the answer and then somebody else was supposed to do that. Okay, so the answer to that is Emergency Solutions Grant.
Okay, next question. What's Amy's favorite CDBG project?
Sherilyn definitely jumped out for that one. It's Meals on Main Street, known as Moms. Caritas, also.
Good question. When did Homeseeker launch?
Homeseeker launched in May of this year.
And last question. How many people have registered for Homeseeker since its launch?
Over 3,000 have registered.
Okay, thank you.
Michael, are you receiving the results from everybody's answer?
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now.
Oh, okay.
So 83% of everyone in here got the first question right, and 83% got the second question right. 67% got the third question right, and 50% of people got the fourth question right.
Can you see exactly who got all the questions right? If there was one? No, I wasn't me.
I'm sure I can, but I think I'd have to open it after this is over.
Okay, so whoever got all the questions right, we can give them an incentive for answering all the questions right. That would be great. We are giving out a gift card, so last time I believe it was Tiffany that won the gift card.
Yes. I just say in my defense, if I am the person this time, it can go to the second
She
person.
must know.
Just letting you know.
And for anybody that does not know me, I'm Christina Abad. I am the housing advocate here at Westchester Disabled on the Move. I met a couple of you guys before, but there are a couple of new faces. I do apologize for entering a little bit late. But I do help with the housing fairs as well. The housing workshops, as well as the housing fair that Michael had posted in the chat. So I am excited to thank you, Amy. It was great the information that you have informed us on. I definitely use Homeseeker. I think it is a great program online, for individuals to find housing. And to see exactly what waiting lists are available for them. So I think that was great to show everybody and inform them on how to use it as well. So yes. I just got this
Thank you.
trivia again.
Oh yeah, I did too.
Okay. Sorry, the trivia just popped up on my thing again. I already
Me too.
answered one question wrong, so I'm not the winner. Okay. So are you able to see it now? Because if not, then I can just take it down. And then I believe everybody does everybody use their email when they log in, or they just sign in with their name?
I don't know.
Email.
Just
We kind of
double
ran
check.
over here and figured it out because
Yeah,
it wasn't
I'll
working
see
wherever else we
myself.
went.
Okay. Yeah, it just looks like name. I don't have a lot of people's emails here, so I don't want to exit out and then the winner is like not here. Bear with me just 1 second. Okay. While Michael's doing that, I did just want to discuss so you guys know as well. Amy, if it's okay, if I can email you our flyer. We are having a housing
Yeah.
fair at the Yonkers Library. It will be held from 10 to 1 p.m. The housing fair is basically going to consist of housing information. We do have a couple of organizations tabling. CHI will be there to inform individuals on what housing opportunities they have, whether it's the the first time homeowners program, or if it's the affordable housing that they have. They have different programs in their organization. So they'll be there tabling. We will have other organizations as well. I'm trying to get a couple of brokers and realtors there. Just so the community can kind of introduce themselves, they can introduce as well and get a little bit more information on what is open out here. A lot of people are just looking on, the internet looking for housing, but there's so much more that they're bypassing. So we're trying just to, inform the community of what is out there that they may be missing. Okay. Okay, so it looks like Miss Nozzle is the winner again. Tiffany, and what did you want to do with your winnings, Tiffany?
Whoever came in second up can receive
Can
the prize.
take it. Okay. Okay. I greatly appreciate that.
Not a
Thank you.
problem. Thank you very much.
Okay. Alrighty, so I will be sending out information to whoever was the winner. I really greatly appreciate everybody that took their time to come and join us with this workshop. It was the information was very much needed. I hope to see some of you at the fair that we will be having on September 24th at the Riverfront Library from 10 to 1. And if we don't see you there, hopefully we see you at the next workshop. So thank you
Can I ask
very
a
much
question?
for
Sorry,
coming and taking your time. It's greatly appreciated, and hopefully see you soon.
Can I just ask a quick question? Who should I
Yeah.
email the PDF? Who should I email the slideshow to?
Do you have Michael's email?
Yeah, you can
Yes.
send it to me.
Okay, you send
Okay.
it to him.
Perfect. And then even though you don't have everybody's emails, it will be distributed to whoever was on the email train to come here.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
You have a
you.
great one. Everyone enjoy your day.
Thanks,
You
you too.
too.
You too. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care,
Bye.
all. Blessings to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, John.